The more this season goes on, the more devastated I am for Marinette because this poor girl is going through it. Hey there, I'm Torisaur, and today we're talking about Season 6, Episode 23 of Miraculous Sadnansi. This episode basically lays out everything I've been saying about this season so far pretty clearly, specifically highlighting the toll the secret of keeping Monarch's identity is taking on Marinette. And as has been the case with every new episode this season that is focused on this subject matter, Sadnansi has made me even more confident that Season 6 will have a satisfying conclusion in which Adrian will learn the truth. Spoiler warning for Miraculous Season 6 Episode 23, Sadnansi, let's get into it. Sadnansi follows Marinette and her friends trying to set up Alya's sister Nora with her co-worker Twig. Although the confession of their feelings initially seems to go well, Nora gets akumatized in mourning that relationship since she's leaving for Shanghai soon for a year. Meanwhile, Marinette is continuing to grapple with her distress over lying to Adrian and struggling to draw the portrait of the good man she promised Adrian at the end of Lady Chaos, nearly confessing the truth before breaking down and holding her tongue once more. Marinette's vulnerability in Sadnansi contrasts beautifully with the facade she desperately tries to maintain in the previous episode. Throughout Lady Chaos, we see Marinette frantically trying to push the false narrative that Gabriel was a hero, and when faced with so many people who knew how truly awful he was, she overcorrects by aggressively praising him. Because of the amount of energy it took Marinette to keep that lie intact, it isn't until the end of the episode when Adrian starts seeing his dad as the hero that Marinette finally falls apart. Adrian asks her to draw a portrait of his father that captures that heroism, and we see the regret written on Marinette's face as she feels the horrible weight of her mistake. Throughout Lady Chaos, Marinette's actions showcase the way that her love for Adrian has clouded her judgment, and that she is slowly becoming the villain, more and more like Gabriel himself. Which brings us to Sadnansi. I'm not the only one who has called out the parallels between Gabriel and Marinette Dupain-Cheng, since there are quite a few. Outside of what I specifically talked about in my Lady Chaos review with Marinette justifying her actions through her love for Adrian and wanting to protect him, Gabriel love for Emily led to an intense desperation to bring her back that overshadowed her wishes for Gabriel to just be there as Adrian's father. In a similar way, Marinette's love for Adrian is leading her to make this decision about concealing Monarch's identity regardless of what might actually be best for Adrian because she is so desperate to protect him. Marinette admits as much at the end of Heartfixer, saying she now realizes that she's the one not ready to tell him the truth. There are also of course more superficial parallels, like Marinette being a fashion designer who previously aspired to be like Gabriel before she got to know him. Unfortunately, because the Miraculous fandom can have some pretty bad takes, many of the content creators that called out this parallel were harassed for it, which is so shitty. I mean, even if the take was wrong, that reaction is never okay. I know of at least one creator that got death threats over this, which is absolutely abhorrent. However, Sadnansi is a beautiful fuck you to every single one of those people, as it deliberately highlights this parallel and makes it clear that it was very intentional. When Marinette is fighting for her life trying to create Gabriel portrait, we see a sort of dream sequence that showcases Marinette's fear of turning into him.
You and I are the same, Marinette. You said it yourself on the final day we faced each other. We both want the same thing. We want Adrian to be happy.
This sequence also shows Marinette standing before a mirror where her reflection speaks in Gabriel's voice, telling her,
"If you truly love him, you'll find the strength to lie."
I not only love the way this highlights the Gabriel-Marinette parallel, but Marinette's genuine fear of Gabriel Marinette came up with the lie in the first place to honor Gabriel's dying wish, which she agreed to because she didn't want Adrian to be any more devastated at losing his father by learning that he was a villain. Even in his death, Gabriel holds such incredible power over Marinette, which is terrifying, and so to be confronted with the possibility of becoming like him is even more terrifying. This is exactly why this episode following Lady Chaos works so well, as it is Marinette recognizing that she is acting as an accomplice to Monarch and that she is becoming a villain just like he was. Marinette desperately trying to maintain her lie as truth has become so intense that Alya notices and calls it out. Alya already knows that Marinette is hiding something from her and struggling to come clean with it, but in Sadnansi, she picks up on the fact that it has to do with Gabriel Seeing Marinette's devastation at lying to Adrian, Alya is incredibly empathetic, while also giving Marinette encouragement to come clean with the truth since it
always comes out in the end. So what would you rather have happen? You being honest with Adrian, or him eventually finding out on his own and realizing you betrayed him on top of lying?
Another example of the Miraculous fandom being annoying and having bad takes is there's this really weird mentality that Alya is a bad friend for calling out Marinette's lie as problematic. even though that's exactly why she's a good friend. Part of that is people still getting hung up on the Lila stuff, which is a video for another day. But Alya is being anything but a bad friend in season 6. To be a good friend is to call out your friend's bullshit and help them find their correct path. Alya was completely valid for her reaction in Revelator because she suddenly learned about an intense lie that Marinette was keeping from her. However, now Alya knows Marinette is hiding something from her beforehand and is seeing how much it is hurting her. During the fight with Sadnansi, Ladybug almost lets herself get hit by Sadnansi's power and explains to Rena Rouge that
if I'd stop loving you-know-who, maybe I'd have the courage to do what's best for him.
To see her best friend, who has been fawning over Adrien for as long as they have been friends, contemplating giving up on that love altogether, shows Alya the extent of Marinette's pain. Alya's concern for Marinette's well-being is what compels her to run different scenarios of the final confrontation with Monarch in an attempt to uncover the secret. It's very clear that this isn't just something Alya is doing out of desperation for the truth, but because she is incredibly worried about Marinette's happiness and no longer wants to see her suffering alone.
If I want to help her, I have to figure out what she's keeping to herself first.
When Alya does finally discover the truth, she probably will still be upset to some extent, but I still think she is going to do her best to support Marinette handling the truth after seeing her intense struggle with it. Which of course brings us to the opening and ending of Sadnansi. Sadnansi opens with the episode's conclusion, where Marinette has decided to give Adrien the letter and come clean with the truth. This decision has been building throughout the episode, with Alya's encouragement and Marinette's fear of turning into Gabriel Agreste compounding and making Marinette realize that she needs to tell Adrien the full story. The final thing that pushes her over the edge to make this decision is Twig and Nora's relationship, and when Ladybug gives Nora the magical charm, she tells her,
some truths are hard to hear, but must be told.
However, as expected, Marinette doesn't go through with confessing Monarch's identity. She goes all the way to see Adrien and is about to tell him, but spots Adrien's Froggy plushie, a reminder of the good in Gabriel Agreste that Marinette has confined herself to protect after seeing how much that part of him has made Adrien happy. And so she breaks down again, crying and telling Adrien that she loves him. This moment is exactly what the end card of El Toro de Piedra was foreshadowing, where Gabriel, represented by Froggy, is a constant looming force that is still causing Marinette and Adrien intense hurt. Despite the truth not coming out in this moment because of Marinette's struggle to follow through, with Sadnansi being the second to last episode before the finale, I am even more certain that the truth will come out in that finale since Marinette has finally accepted that it needs to happen. I am also still holding on to my theory that Marinette will be akumatized in the finale, but I'll elaborate a bit more on what I think that will look like in my Heart Fixer review. Overall, Sadnansi is a very effective illustration of the way hiding Monarch's identity has been weighing on Marinette throughout the season, and it will come to light sooner or later, whether it be by her choice or someone else's. Either way, it's going to be absolutely devastating for Marinette, and it's going to take a lot for her to come back from whatever fallout may result from it. Before I wrap up this video, there are a couple of small things I want to highlight from Sadnansi unrelated to Marinette's plight. I love everything we learned about Nora in this episode, from her relationship with Twig to her family. Seeing Twig pining after Nora was so sweet, and the way Nora initially reacts to his confession by saying never in a million years, with Twig calling out that it was a fib, was absolutely adorable. In general, the two of them being flustered and awkward after their feelings came to light was so cute. I also really enjoyed the show highlighting that Nora and Alya have different fathers and that they're half-sisters. So often in media, we only really see that traditional family structure of two parents and their kids, so to have this different situation represented was really nice. It's also implied that the secret of Nora having a different father than Alya were the family issues Alya referenced in Reckless Driver, as she mentions being hurt by the truth coming out when it was kept from her for years.
When I found out, the only thing that really hurt wasn't the truth, but the fact that someone else had decided for me what was good for me, what I should or shouldn't know.
And of course, Alya sharing this ties into her encouraging Marinette to come forward with the truth, since she knows what Adrien may feel like upon learning it. But that does it for this video. What did y'all think of Sadnansi? I think it was another fantastic episode centering around the primary conflict of the season, and a great setup for what I expect to unfold in the finale. I did mention this in a post, but although I did promise my Chloe Bourgeois video soon, I do have some stuff going on with my family right now and thus don't have the capacity to work on it currently. However, I am going to continue making season 6 reviews as they are the most straightforward videos for me to put out. Next week I will be reviewing Heart Fixer and potentially episode 19 if I find it particularly interesting, so make sure to subscribe so you can catch those videos when they come out. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like and hype if you did. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time.